Hi everyone, Adam with the BMW Repair Guide. Today I'm making a short video on how to repair a sunroof on an E31 8 Series car. As you can see, we're renovating this beauty. This is a 1995 840 Ci, and one of the most common problems with these cars is the sunroofs literally fall apart with age. The plastic becomes brittle, and you'll end up trying to open it, and everything, you'll hear just a bunch of cracking and snapping sounds, and that's basically all of the internal pieces breaking apart. Very common for this car. The reason why I'm making this video is because there just isn't anything online dealing with this issue. There's a couple poorly written articles, but there's nothing showing how to actually rebuild the plastic pieces that go inside the sunroof frame. Now you can see we've removed the sunroof frame from the ceiling of the vehicle, and we're not going to give any instructions on how to do that. It's relatively easy. If you have any issues with it, you can contact us at bmwrepairguide.com and we can walk you through it. We're also doing an article on this as well, so if you go to bmwrepairguide.com, you can also read how to do this instead of just watching the video. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to show you how to remove the broken pieces and how to install them correctly, new pieces, install them correctly in the frame. So we'll go ahead and get started now. Before you get started with this repair, you must remove the motor from the sunroof frame. This is because the cables that are attached to the trolleys, which we will be replacing, interlock with the gear on the motor, and it makes them impossible to pull out. So the motor is held in place with two T25 Torx bolts. Simply loosen them up and the motor comes right out. And you can see there's the gear on the motor that interlocks with the cables. And as you can see, it makes them impossible to pull out while the motor is still installed. So the two main components on the E31 sunroof are the guide and the gate. The guide, actually also known as the trolley, and then you have a gate that's attached to it. Now you can see that ours are completely destroyed. When we tried to open it, all these plastic bits basically fell apart and fell into the car when we removed the sunroof frame. This is actually what it's supposed to look like. You can see this is the gate, this is the guide with the teeth on it. It should look just like that. And as you can see, ours is completely destroyed. So to get it out of there, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this rail covering right here, the slide rail. It's held in place with 4 Torx screws. We went ahead and already removed the screws just for, to speed the video up. But you go ahead and remove that. Then you can slide the trolley forward and then pull the cable out of the frame. Now, before you install the new guide and gate, make sure to lube up these tracks. We went ahead and pre-lubed them before we started the video, but you want to make sure the tracks are well lubed up. We use a marine grease, waterproof grease. You can use whatever you prefer. We're not going to start the debate on what the best grease is for sunroofs, but this is proved to work really well for us. You also are going to want to lube up the cable for the new trolley. Put lots of grease on this cable so everything slides back and forth very easily. Now, before we install the trolley, we have to install the gate on the side of it. And basically, these two mechanisms each have a specific use. The trolley, the guide or the trolley, slides the sunroof back and forth. The gate, which attaches to the side of it, and we'll show you that in a minute, actually lifts the sunroof when you want to put it in the vent position. So the gate raises the sunroof up and down, and the trolley slides it back and forth. It's that simple. What's confusing is how these go together, and we're going to show you right now how that works. So this is the part that's most confusing to mechanics, is how the gate and the trolley fit together. And basically what you have to do is you have to snap the gate into the side of the trolley. And you can see there is a track right here. And what we have to do is we have to get this fitting, this plastic bit right here on the side of the trolley, we need to get that into this slot right here. And in order to do that, you have to press it in until it snaps into position. And that can be difficult. It takes several tries, but what you have to do is find, there's a little indentation inside the slot where you can fit this pin, and then you just have to push. And there you go. We just snapped it in. It's not easy. And it's a bit nerve-wracking because you don't want to break any of these parts. They're very expensive. But as you can see, we now have the gate attached to the trolley. We've got the cable all lubed up, so we'll go ahead and install the cable. And you want to make sure the cable is pushed in as far as it can go. If not, you're going to be out of line. So we push it in as far as it can go. Now, you're going to want to apply some grease to the gate because these bits slide inside the track. And then we'll go ahead and install this as such. You can see the trolley just fits back in the track and slides backwards. And we want to make sure that the gate is in the track as well. And as you can see, everything is aligned right. The gate's in the track, the trolley's in the track. Everything is perfect. It's all lubed up. We'll go ahead and replace the slide rail. And you'll just go ahead and replace the the torque screws on this. So now that we've got the trolley and the gate properly installed in the frame, we have two more steps left. And the first step is to attach the rain gutter to the gate. And you can see there's a small plastic bit right here that the gate, the arm on the rain gutter slips into. Now we're gonna have to push this one forward a little bit to get this to work. And then what you'll do is you'll just put this arm in like that and then snap it into position. And we'll repeat that on the other side. We've already done it on this side, but as you can see, the arm snaps into the little plastic bit on the side of the gate, and that attaches the rain gutter to the trolleys. Then what we're going to do is we're going to slide both mechanisms all the way back. Okay, so we've got them both in the rear position. Okay, so now that we got the trolleys in the rear position, everything is lined up correctly. I'm putting up some still shots on the video right now so you can get a little bit more detail as to what's going on with the gate and making sure that all of the that it's properly inserted into the track. So you're probably viewing these still shots right now. If you want to see more still shots and a little bit more detail, please go to our website, bmwrepairguide.com. We wrote a full article on this repair. So everything looks good. Everything's in position. We pushed everything to the back, so both sides are in the same position at the rear of the sunroof. At the rear of the sunroof. The last thing we have to do is we are going to manually turn the motor to make sure that these things, make sure the trolleys are sliding back and forth correctly and that it's going up into the vent position when it comes to the front of the sunroof frame. So to do that, you have to reinstall the motor. It should have been, you had to pull the motor out to get these cables out at the beginning. So reinstall the motor, and then you're going to use a 4mm hex bit to actually turn the motor to get these trolleys to slide. So the next step is to reinstall the motor, and the reason why I put this in the video is it can be a little tricky. You have to get the gear of the motor back into where the cables are, and in order to do that you need to use a 4mm hex bit like this, because most likely the gear's not going to line up. So you're going to want to turn it until the gear's actually there. It just went into the slot, and now they're lined up with the cables. And you can double check this by turning it and watching your trolleys in the back to see if they move. So you can see ours are moving, so we know that the gears are making good contact with the cables. So once again, make sure the trolleys are at the very back position. We've got the motor installed, and so now that we've got the motor installed correctly, we'll go ahead and reinstall the Torx bolts that hold it to the frame. And for that we will use a T25 Torx bit. Okay, with the motor securely reinstalled in the frame, what we're going to do is flip the frame over, and we are going to test the trolleys by inserting the hex bit back into the motor, but we're going to do it with the frame flipped back over. Okay, with the frame flipped back over, we'll go ahead and install the hex bit into the motor. Okay, with the hex bit installed back in the motor, we will go ahead and turn it clockwise. And you can see as we turn the motor manually, the trolleys moving forward, and as they get to the very front, you'll see the gates rise, and that's lifting the sunroof. So the mechanism works perfectly. We can go ahead and reinstall it back in the car now. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. We would appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel and like the video if it was helpful for you.